In the ongoing issue in which Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew has persistently pointed to improper banking activities conducted at the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, Prime Minister Drew disclosed further details while a guest on a well-known talk show of Freedom FM 106.5. The auditing firm he referred to was identified as MNP LLC of Canada. According to Dr. Drew, the report reveals how nearly $20 million was taken out of the bank. This is an extraction of his reading of the report on the talk show.
Beginning in October 2019, the bank issued checks payable to, and the person's name, which I would not call today, a Development Bank SKN employee. So in October 2019, the bank would write checks in employee's name or particular employee of the Development Bank, St. Kitts Nevis. So here is an employee. The bank would issue a check in the name of that employee. And guess what happened? In some cases, checks were issued to other individuals, so that employee and others. However, the vast majority of these, approximately $20 million over time. So here is an employee. The bank is writing a check in that employee's name. Other checks were written. I am just talking about the 20 million because more money is unaccounted for. Approximately $20 million over time. And this is on page 121 of the report, a report prepared by MNP LLP, a chartered professional accountancy and business advisory firm in Canada. It's about the Development Bank. This is on page 121. I give that for those who might just have tuned in. However, the vast majority of these checks, approximately $20 million EK, $20 million over time were issued to that person. And we have the name and the stub of the checks that went to National Bank. She indicated that she took the checks to the National Bank and cashed the checks and then delivered the cash in large envelopes back to the bank, and that he never had any knowledge of the amount or use of the cash after that point.
The Prime Minister also pointed to the previous CEO of the Development Bank in reference to the peace program. SK Newsline is attempting to engage with the former CEO on these matters. Glenn Barth reporting for SK Newsline.
The order paper has been issued for the sitting of the National Assembly to be held at the National Assembly Chambers Government Headquarters on Monday, September 18th, starting at 10 a.m. Notice has been given. A press release from the St. Kitts Nevis Information Service said 5 bills will receive their first reading. Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, responsible for finance, national security, citizenship and immigration, health and social security, will leave to introduce and have read for the first time bills entitled Medical Amendment Bill 2023, Cannabis Amendment Bill 2023, and the Consumer Protection Bill 2023. Minister responsible for Agriculture, Fisheries, Marine Resources and Cooperatives, Samuel Duggins, will seek leave to introduce and have read the first time the bills entitled Animal Health Bill 2023 and Plant Protection Bill 2023. Copies of bills, as soon as they are made available, can be found on the website www.sknis.gov.kn of the St. Kitts Nevis Information Service under the section titled Bills. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline. St. Kitts Nevis shoppers, now you can order from China and have your items delivered to you here in St. Kitts Nevis. Introducing Channel Links, a shipping and logistics company from St. Martin that is making your ordering from China dreams come true. Channel Links imports top goods and items for vehicles, accessories, consumer electronics, cosmetics, furniture, toys, house supplies, and much more. Ship your items to a Chinese address, and Channel Links will take care of the rest to ship your products to St. Kitts. If you wish to get your items much faster, Channel Links also offers air freight services. So shop on Alibaba, AliExpress, and other Asian shopping sites. Get low affordable prices and get your items shipped to you. Call or WhatsApp Channel Links in St. Martin at 1-721-554-4802, 580-0171, 580-0065, or 580-4834. Or you can email them at contact_us@channel-links.com. Channel Links, your shipping solution.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, Minister of Finance, said he understands the impatience of people in regards to adopting a new minimum wage. He said, however, it was important to go through the process to ensure people and the economy were not adversely impacted by an increase. He indicated that the committee headed by former Deputy Prime Minister Sam Kondo is about to enter a new phase. He commented on the matter during Issues St. Kitts Nevis on Freedom FM 106.5, indicating public discussions on the minimum wage report will be carried out shortly.
Take that report to the people, have discussions with the people in different fora, so that public relations and communication is critically important, so people understand what is in the report, why it's in the report, to have the experts speak to it. Because I think last week, Friday, I think someone from Social Security was on with him talking about the minimum wage and so forth. So they're going to do that. And then the communication with the people, and then we are going to bring that forward. And we have done it as quickly as possible. But it is not quick enough for the person who really needs it. And I understand how that person feels. I really, truly understand. But it just carries a particular process. Otherwise, when you think you're doing something good, it can turn out and hurt all of us even more if it is not properly carried out. So we can see sometimes when you're in governance and you're looking at it from, look, I can see the consequence of not doing this properly and seek to act to protect the people. But a man who is hurting, he can't understand that. And I understand his position.
Right.
It is not certain, however, how soon the public discussions on the minimum wage will begin. Glenn Barrett reporting for SK Newsline.
The National Olympic Committee of St. Kitts Nevis in a press release says it continues to provide opportunities for exposure, experience and training to athletes, administrators, coaches and sports officials. The latest recipient of such an opportunity was Ms. Maritza Williams, a sports officer attached to the Department of Sports, who recently returned from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where she participated in the 2-day Women Leadership Through Sport for All workshop. This was organized by the Caribbean Association of National Olympic Committees, CANOC, in collaboration with the International Association of Sport for All, TAFISA, and the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Ms. Williams and the 16 other women between the ages of 18 to 35 were trained to be leaders of a larger Caribbean network which fosters intercultural dialogue, strengthens relations, promotes solidarity and integration for sustainable, healthy lifestyles across the region. Ms. Williams is now expected to share the experiences that she gained at the workshop with the Olympic family in St. Kitts and Nevis and put together a project which she will implement over the next 12 months with monitoring and evaluation in order to achieve the desired outcomes from the workshop. Ms. Williams is an Olympian and the 2008 Carifta Games silver medalist in the 100 meters and 200 meters events. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline. St. Kitts and Nevis shoppers, now you can order from China and have your items delivered to you here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Introducing Channel Links, a shipping and logistics company from St. Martin that is making your ordering from China dreams come true. Channel Links imports top goods and items for vehicles, accessories, consumer electronics, cosmetics, furniture, toys, house supplies, and much more. Ship your items to a Chinese address, and Channel Links will take care of the rest to ship your products to St. Kitts. If you wish to get your items much faster, Channel Links also offers air freight services. So shop on Alibaba, AliExpress, and other Asian shopping sites. Get low affordable prices and get your items shipped to you. Call or WhatsApp Channel Links in St. Martin at 1-721-554-4802, 580-0171, 580-0065, or 580-4834. Or you can email them at contact_us@channel-links.com. Channel Links, your shipping solution.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
Ah! What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Based on the arduous task of assessing the over 40,000 declarations the Integrity Commission currently receives from public sector employees, the body proposed this adjustment.
Whilst there is no argued best approach for the selection of public officials to file statutory declarations, a risk-based approach, which is informed by jurisdictional peculiarities and the resources available, would be suited for the Jamaican model. In the foregoing regard, it is recommended that a detailed review of the public bodies will be undertaken to determine high-risk positions and the eventual abolition of the use of income threshold, but we're not there yet, as the basis for determining who should file.
A process that has the potential to impact the political fortunes of those it engages is being recommended for streamlining by the Commission along the lines of risk.
Our recommendation was to increase the threshold from 3.5 to 7 million, but following consultation with the Ministry of Finance, the AG chambers and other public bodies, we have landed at a recommended figure of $12 million, and the commissioners agreed with that new threshold.
However, concerns still persist, even at the parliamentary level, with the admission from Juliet Holness that several of their members remain uncertain about the existing process.
I would ask that the parliamentarians be trained. Since 2016, I became a parliamentarian, and I know for a fact we have not had a training. So I would welcome a training for our session of parliamentarians. I know you have done the cabinet, but not MPs generally, and particularly when you have so many new members of parliament.
Committee Chairman Ed Bartlett also shared his preliminary reservations with the proposal.
There is a good argument, I think, for a methodology which will make a more manageable number, be there for review. But what you don't want is for the categories to be so structured that it allows for persons who should be declaring.
Joel Crosskill, CVM News.
That was employees of Yumi Claimer as they refused to work until their employers paid them for their overtime. Yumi Claimer, whose headquarters is in Spain, is one of the companies contracted by a resort project in St. David. The over 30 workers affected came from English and Spanish-speaking countries such as Jamaica, Haiti, Dominica, and Mexico. They claim that they were contracted to work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but have been working from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and have not been paid overtime for the past 2 years. They further explained that Grenadian workers on the site working with them were paid for their overtime, but they were not.
Of course, it's unfair because we are from our country coming here to work for our families. We leave Jamaica, come here, leave Dominican Republic, come here to work for our families, so we deserve our money. We can't be working overtime for Yumi Claim and not getting it.
And you state an overtime or overtime rate on the contract. So if you state an overtime rate on the contract, that means we're supposed to be getting overtime. You understand? So what happened now? You're trying to use reverse psychology from my understanding. You're trying to say that our contract is based from Jamaica and at the same time our permit is in Grenada. So they're moving back and forth from two different contracts, trying to confuse us. But every time we have a representative here, because it's not our country, sometimes we feel like we're not taken serious, not being a Grenadian. But most of the time we're still like, that shouldn't be the case. Our work permit is in Grenada, not in Jamaica or in Dominica Republic or Haiti, you understand, or Mexican. So I think we're supposed to be treated fairly, and that's something definitely your country needs to look in because foreign workers are here to help build your country. And if we're treated bad, for us to come and develop the country again won't be, possible.
The workers said that this matter was earlier brought before the Ministry of Labour in Grenada and the promises of compensation were made, then broken.
Locals get that overtime paid to them, but we didn't get it. And it was advised by the Ministry of Labour that everybody supposed to get the overtime because it's the law of Grenada. You work from 8 to 5, and we're working from 7 to 5 and we haven't received that hour. The Ministry of Labour told them to cut the hours from 8 to 5, and they didn't cut it. We're still working the overtime and not getting paid. We're supposed to receive the pay. We're supposed to receive the We're supposed to receive the money this month. But when we receive the money? September. We're supposed to receive the money September, the overtime money that the minister told them to pay, and we haven't seen it on our paycheck. So we confront them and they say, no money. They're not paying it.
A Grenadian worker with a Spanish background took it upon himself to fight for the workers. Johnny Blackman said although his efforts cost him his job, he saw it necessary to represent the workers. According to Blackman, who spoke to the news team just minutes after meeting with the Ministry of Labour, the matter was brought to the attention of the resort's management and the Grenada Labour Minister, who promised to intervene and address the workers' gripe.
And I'm happy to say that it was resolved in a promptly manner, which is beautiful because the minister was there and she really was with us, and she was with me this morning, and she really we was really in this log back and forth and everything, and finally we get everything sorted. Now it came to a conclusion, and I'm happy that the conclusion came finally that the guys are going to receive their money, and it was promised to us by the contractor, which is the other company, so that the guys honestly they could go home, and at least if they're going home or they are sent home, we don't have a problem with that, but at least let we go home to our family with something, you know. It is promised to us not by the same Humiclima, but it is promised to us by another company, and the company is the company who contracted Humiclima. Humiclima is only a subcontractor to that company.
Labour Minister Claudette Joseph, when contacted, told GBN she was not briefed on the issue and so was unable to comment on the dispute. Blackman confirmed to GBN just before news time that the workers went back to work and are satisfied with the speedy resolution reached on the matter. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
The sheer scale of destruction is hard to comprehend. A scar of mud and rubble mark where the wall of water and the remnants of people's lives smashed through neighbourhoods and into the sea. Much of the eastern Libyan city of Derna now resembles a war zone. Helicopter teams search for bodies washed up on the shore. Sniffer dog units pick through the rubble. The dead are wrapped in body bags before being pulled from the crumbled destruction of homes.
There are around 14 or 15 families that were swept away. Anyone who was in the valley disappeared. 9 other people who lived directly on the coast are gone. May they rest in peace. The sea destroyed the Corniche. We woke up to a catastrophe. We woke up and we couldn't find anyone. May God have mercy on their souls.
Derna's mayor says between 18 to 20,000 people may have been killed in the tsunami-like flooding that hit this region earlier this week. Many are being buried in mass graves.
The completely collapsed area is estimated at 900,000 square meters. The destruction of 5 bridges in this valley resulted in the separation of the city's east from its west. The affected area with severe damage is estimated at 3 million square meters. The situation in this city is more than catastrophic.
The UN has warned about the threat of disease and says Libya's political instability is partly to blame for the scale of the catastrophe.
We have tried to help them, but since the security situation in the country is so difficult, it's difficult to go there and improve the situation.
International humanitarian assistance, including field hospitals, medicine, tents and food, is being flown into the nearest large enough airport in Benghazi, 350 kilometers away. Donation centres have been set up across Libya. Despite the years of instability and disunity in a country with 2 rival political administrations, people are coming together to help.
We heeded the call for help. This is our duty, and God bless the young volunteers who came through. We provided full food supplies. We came with 5 cars. People in Benghazi donated items. Now we are delivering medicine in the hospital, full food supplies, blankets. I encourage everyone to take part even though the roads are closed and difficult to reach.
After clearing a navigational corridor, the local maritime authorities say preparations are being made as quickly as possible for ships carrying relief supplies to enter Derna's port. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.
Well, satellite images give us a sense of just how much was lost in the flooding. Have a look. This was Derna on September the 2nd, a city of about 80,000 people. There are 4 bridges there that cross the Wadi Derna River, including a main one there along the waterfront. On Wednesday, the city looked like this. The river, which is dry for most of the year, overflowed and destroyed an entire section of the city, both the bridges and the buildings. And silt has also spread all across Derna.
At 14, Vanessa Flores hardly looks like a veteran agricultural worker. But she says she started laboring on a pig farm in North Carolina when she was just 6 years old. Working alongside her parents, she's seen fellow child workers get hurt as they dodged snakes and pigs for $450 for 3 months of summer work.
It's not a good condition, and you got to walk through that, and you got to smell that, and you got to get used to rats going through your feet, because you just got to walk, and you just got to try not to be afraid.
Flores told us she didn't feel comfortable revealing where she worked because she wanted to protect her family. Now she hands out school supplies to other Latino children as an organizer for a community group called El Pueblo at this event in rural North Carolina.
The pigs, you don't know, they're really unexpected, so they could come charging at you, or they could do anything, like they could just bite you.
Many children, like Vanessa, work before they're legally able. But while children have to be 14 to work in most jobs, federal laws allow children as young as 12 to work on commercial farms, and even younger if the farm is owned by their parents.
We need to close those loopholes. We need to increase child labor fines because companies aren't feeling enough pain when they violate the law.
The U.S. Department of Labor reported child labor violations rose by 70% since 2018. In 2021, 24 children died from work injuries, about half of them on farms. In the past year, lawmakers in at least 10 states loosened or proposed to ease the laws that govern children at work. Economists say a labor shortage is in part behind the drive to loosen laws in some states. But child labor has long been an issue in the U.S., especially in agriculture. Brenda Dimas Lopez, now 22, remembers working illegally starting at age 5 in the blueberry fields and later hog farms alongside her parents, who could not afford childcare. She says after several years she could no longer remember the names of her employers. She says a main reason for the child labor problem in the U.S. is race.
A lot of these communities out there in the fields are the indigenous communities, the Latinos communities, and the black communities. We see these lawmakers and we know that the kids in the fields don't resemble theirs. And I feel like that might be part of the problem right there. It's the fact that they don't care about us.
In the past 2 years, more than 250,000 unaccompanied minors have reportedly crossed the U.S. border. The Biden administration has created a task force to crack down on the surge of illegal child labor cases. But with a shortage of field hands and more young migrants crossing the border daily in need of work, that job might be more challenging than ever. John Hendren, Al Jazeera, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Newtown United ladies crushed Village Superstars women's team 10-0 on Wednesday in the Escanife Elvis Star Brown Women's League match at the Escanife Technical Center. Christiane Mills was the pick of the goal scorers with 5 goals in the 2nd, 34th, 63rd, 64th and 66th minutes. Other goal scorers were Shamika Isaac in the 17th minute, Omira Delaney in the 21st minute, Caitlin Forbes in the 57th minute, Khadija Henry in the 66th minute, and Sharima Blake in the 88th minute. After the match, coach of Newtown, Shashi Isaac, spoke about his team's performance.
We just tell them, we come back just like how we play Old World, we come back the same. So to me, it wasn't just the same. We come back with the same attitude, same communication, play the simple ball, and we get the simple goals.
He said the team, despite the win, is still not playing at its peak.
No, not as yet. We still got a little hiccups because, much of them still with nationals. So we still got a little off. So we're still trying to get our groove, back together. But we're taking it one step at a time.
Meanwhile, Isaac said he has to manage his players' minutes, especially those who will be featuring for the senior women's national team in the upcoming CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup qualifiers.
Yes, that's why we didn't want for national. I tend not to give them too much because I know they've been working hard over there, and as much as I could take them off and give them a little rest, I will do that much.
The LB Star Brown Women's League continues on Sunday with matches on Nevis at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, when Queen City will play MFCR Old Road United Lady Jets at 4 p.m. and Hot Springs Bath United taking on Najiko Keon Rockets at 6 p.m.